Welcome back to Freedom Through Fitness, the podcast that's here to shift the way you think about movement. Around here, we believe fitness isn't about punishment. It's not just about aesthetics. It's about what feeling fit lets you do, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and even socially. From running around with your kids without gasping for breath, to feeling confident enough to step into any room and back yourself, to rebuilding trust in your body after years of frustration or injury. This is your place to explore what it really means to reclaim your strength, your confidence, and your freedom through fitness. I'm your host, Meg Batchelor, founder of Focused Personal Training, a Southampton-based coaching business helping real people create lasting change. You'll hear stories, strategies, and conversations with people who've done just that, and how you can too. If something here sparks an idea, gives you clarity, or makes you curious, we'd love to hear it. Visit us at freedompod.focusedpt.co.uk, share what's resonated, or ask for support if you're ready to take action. All right, let's dive into today's episode. In this episode, we kick off Series 2 with an incredibly raw and honest conversation with George Middleton, someone I first came across at the gym and whose story I knew needed to be heard. George's journey is one of deep transformation, from living with type 2 diabetes, struggling with body dysmorphia, and feeling isolated and immobilized by his weight, to reclaiming his health, confidence, and quality of life through movement, education, and relentless perseverance. This episode goes beyond just a weight loss story. It's a powerful testament to what it means to choose something over nothing, to take the first terrifying step, and to keep moving forward even when doubt feels louder than hope. We explore how fear, education, and community played a role in George's evolution, why fitness should be about empowerment and not punishment, and the often invisible mental battles that accompany physical change. Whether you're at the start of your own journey, supporting someone else, or just in need of a reminder of what's possible when you don't give up, this is a conversation that will stay with you. So let's get into it.
And the nurse said to me, "Do you like having 2 feet?" I said, "I do." She goes, "You're going to lose a foot.
Wow.
Because you're too young to be sat with me. Go away and do something about it."
Welcome to the podcast, George Middleton, who's someone that I bumped into at the gym myself. He's got an incredible story that I know will be really powerful for the people listening. So what I'd really love to do is ask if you might be willing to share with us, what was the beginning of your story?
I've always been quite a big guy. So I was a big teen, and then I was a big young adult. And I kind of yo-yoed a little bit. Certainly when I was at university, I was studying law. I was training to be a lawyer. Life was quite easy for me. I was quite gluttonous at that time. I ate a lot and didn't really have the education on nutrition. So I just ate to make myself happy. I tried the gym a few times, tried Slimming World. I just couldn't crack it. And I lost a lot of weight as I left university. But I went and saw the doctor. I was very concerned about loose skin because I'd been yo-yoing for a lot of my young life. I was very concerned about loose skin, and the doctor said there was nothing we could do about it. I was 24 stone. I went down to about 17 and a half stone, and I starved myself to get there. I literally did every form of cardio. I had no knowledge of exercise, no knowledge of nutrition really. So I literally starved myself to get to this 17 and a half stone. I was looking for an excuse to give up, and he gave me that excuse to give up. He gave me that excuse. He wanted to talk about putting me on medicines, basically, to sort of medicate my unhappiness. And I just gave up. I just started eating, and I soon ballooned up to, I say soon, but within a year or two, I was 31 and a half stone. And very, very, very unhappy, very immobile. I was very depressed, and when I was forced by my parents, who somehow put up with me all that time, to go see the GP, who did a blood test and said I was a type 2 diabetic and I need to see a nurse. And the nurse said to me, "Do you like having 2 feet?" I said, "I do." She goes, "You're going to lose a foot.
Wow.
Because you're too young to be sat with me. Go away and do something about it." And it was a real kick. It was. I don't want to give it too much credit, but it was that thing I needed in that moment to get me moving. So I did. I started moving. I couldn't move far because I was very, very, very big, and where I'd been inactive for a long time and rolled my ankles many times as I was bigger. I had very poor stability, so I had very poor hips, very poor knees, very poor ankles, rubbish shoes, which is something I learned about as I've come along, like about having good shoe wear and comfortable shoes. My shoes were absolutely terrible. So I just had very poor stability as well at this time. I just started walking around my village about 15 minutes and did that sort of every day. At this point as well, I was unemployed. I was obviously type 2 diabetic on medication, metformin at the time, and living with my parents. Very lucky to be living with my parents, I must say, but I was in a very bad way living with my parents. I was like sleeping on the floor because I broke the bed, and then I was just too embarrassed to get the bed fixed. So I would sleep on the floor. So the starting point for me was just moving, slowly moving. And day by day I built it up, started walking my sister's dog. Finally built up the courage to go to the gym, which was my local gym in Hamble. Just started doing stuff on machines, like I think a lot of people do. You go in there, you again always thinking the mentality, I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail. Every time I just kept thinking I was gonna fail because I've failed so many times before. And I could see that the weight was coming down, and I started to educate myself on nutrition. I was still very, very shy, like going into the gym. I had zero confidence, and luckily the people that worked at the gym were very encouraging. And one or two became like friends, luckily. One in particular became a really, closest friend that I utilized a lot for like help and advice, and he was so good. It never hurts to ask questions, but it's hard to ask questions. It's scary to ask questions because you feel like an idiot. Like you feel like it's almost something you should know. And actually learning and educating oneself, I think, is one of like the key things. Has been the key factor of me being able to get to where I got to and maintain it.
A big part of why I think having you on the podcast will be so useful is that hearing that message from you, that it's okay to ask the questions and it's okay to be the person who isn't in the know about everything. Unfortunately, what we have had is this intake of information over decades that going to the gym is just about being ultra lean and ultra fit. What conversation could you have with yourself? What kind of advice would you give that George?
So the advice I'd give to me was to do something. Something was better than nothing.
Those 15-minute walks.
Those small little walks were so key. And to think of where I started now, to be like running regular, like 5Ks, 10Ks, it can be anywhere. Exercise, movement. You can do it anywhere at home if it helps. I struggle with that, to do it at home. Like,
I think a lot of people do. Home is their comfortable place. It's their relaxing place. And I know that nothing that I say is ever 100% accurate because there's always the minority, the 1% that bought a treadmill and absolutely smashed it. And that's fantastic for them.
Yeah.
But the person who's succeeded will shout the loudest. Everyone whose journey isn't so linear thinks that the fault lies with them. What I don't want someone to do is listen to this story and go, "Oh, you found that easy." Like, are there any kind of really clear memories of times where you doubted yourself or found it really difficult to continue?
Every day. I assumed I was going to fail because I'd failed so many times before. Somehow it just kept on. I kept on moving. That steam train just kept on building momentum, building speed. I did break my arm. That happened as well. That was really silly because I'd been going to the gym. I got egged into doing an arm wrestling contest with someone and I broke my arm. And I was so worried. My mind just was like, oh no, it's over. It's over. It's over. I'm done. And I was so scared that I couldn't go back to the gym.
Is day-to-day life starting to feel harder than it should? Do you find yourself out of breath chasing your kids or even grandkids? If you feel like every day has a new ache and pain that didn't used to be there, or you're just feeling like your strength and your confidence isn't what it was, you can turn this around. Help is out there, and you wouldn't believe the difference it can make. At Focused Personal Training, we help people rebuild strength and resilience from the inside out, no matter where they're starting from. It's not about smashing yourself in the gym, it's about reclaiming the energy, mobility, and self-belief to live the life you want. If you're ready to take the first step, reach out to us at freedompod.focusedpt.co.uk. Your freedom starts with that first conversation.
But I did, back on the treadmill, then on the cross trainer with one arm. And as soon as I was able to, I started rehabbing it, basically. I've had a lot of breaks in training. and I was always scared about having breaks in training. As I said, sometimes it benefits to do something. Sometimes you've got to listen to your body and actually do nothing, but there's always probably something, a little bit of movement, a little bit of stretching that you could be doing. But it depends on one's circumstances. I've had multiple surgeries over the last few years. There's been a lot of downtime. I've had a lot of infections, and all these things have stopped my momentum of training, but I never stopped learning. Like, I always continue to educate myself. I have no shame of asking anyone questions. I admire people in the gym so much, but that's changed. I feared people in the gym, and now my fear has become admiration. I think that training is practice. And I think that's what people forget about actually working out. You're actually not really working. We're practicing. We're training. That's the point. We're trying to get better at a skill.
Yeah.
That's also changed. Like, my mindset of actually going there from punishing myself to actually going there to be like, I'm actually trying to get better at a skill. Even on a treadmill, we should be trying to get better at walking. Like, that's what we should be trying to do on the treadmill. Even though it's an artificial surface, the gym is about getting better at a skill.
Another topic that I talked with you about just before we started recording today is how small comments can impact you in terms of your mentality and progress. Have you ever had an interaction like that along your journey?
Yeah.
Someone reckons they're helping you out, but actually it could be really damaging.
Yeah. Again, I'll go back to the nurse. So I lost the weight. I went back to her. And she said, I said, I've done it. I've lost the weight. I've reversed the diabetes. I'm diet controlled now. She goes, it'll come back.
Whoa.
I was like, that must work on no one. For some reason, it worked on me. That worked on me. And I went away. I've never forgotten it. Those big 2 interactions, the only two times I ever met her. And they stuck with me as part of like the journey. I laugh at it now. But at the time, I was a bit like shell-shocked. I was very shell-shocked. I get it a lot, I suppose. I've always been very self-conscious with my loose skin. And actually, I've only just started using the sauna, like actually getting unchanged in the gym. Like, I really struggle, and so many people do. Men and women, I know, but certainly because I interact with a lot of women and men in the gym, and body dysmorphia is incredibly rife in the gym. It's not just because I've lost loads of weight that I've got body dysmorphia. I've probably always had dysmorphia. Probably would come from like your action heroes from the 80s and the 90s. Like, this is how men think this is how we think we're supposed to look. Like, that's it. So I know there's women's magazines about looking a certain way, and models. For me, Arnold is like, that's the goal.
There has been at least 2 or 3 instances now that on talk shows, the male actors and things have really talked about how miserable that process is for them, how unsustainable that process is for them, how ill they felt during filming because they had to look a certain way, and even to the extent of like knowing what week a shirt off scene is being filmed so that they can go that extra yard, dehydrate themselves, compromise their health. Now all of the young males watching that think that that's normal and sustainable. One of the things we talked about earlier, during periods where I'm leaner, I will have nightmares about falling off the wagon. Is that ever happened to you? Like, have you ever had a dream where you've woken up and you're 30 stone again?
Yeah, all the time. Still do. You chase a fitness dragon. Like, I was chasing, or I'm constantly chasing a fitness dragon of what I should be or where I should be. I have had dreams very recently that I've woken up and I'm big again. And you kind of wake up. I remember waking up, it was like a nightmare. It's horrible to say it like that, but it was your nightmare. It's scary. Like, it's scary to go back. And fear is my biggest motivator. So sad as it may sound, fear is what keeps me on track. I am afraid. I am scared. I don't want to go back. I had no surgical intervention, bar removal of loose skin. And now there's the rise of weight loss injections, which just didn't exist when I was losing weight. And that's would I have taken that then? 100% I would have, because it seems easy, but then anything like that, anything so powerful is so open to abuse, which very much is doing abuse.
Yeah, I've spoken to a few people who have used weight loss jabs or are on weight loss jabs.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it's this sense of, I'm not constantly thinking about food anymore. Oh my God, I actually understand what it's like to be one of these people who judged me in the past because I think about food all the time. But one of the really common factors that comes out, the fear, when this jab goes away, I'm still the same person and I'm going to start putting on the weight again. So there's fear. So the thing is, the psychology hasn't been addressed.
Yeah, psychology is the biggest. It's hard to address the psychology because that is forever evolving, even with me. Like, and I never want to forget where I was, those real down moments, because it's the things that do keep me on track and allows me to have empathy. Because it's very easy to lose empathy for things like that, for the weight loss jabs. So I openly admit, then would have taken it. Even now, I get the desire to take it.
Yeah.
I get why it's being abused. Being abused for, I mean, I've spoken to friends and people have used it for weddings, just to lose like a stone for a wedding. It's scary actually how openly abused it is in the gym.
Think you're too old to start something new, too busy, or maybe just too intimidated to even walk into a gym? You're not alone, and you're not wrong for feeling that way. But the truth is, you can build strength and confidence without flipping your life upside down, even if you've never been a gym person. At Focused Personal Training, we'll meet you where you're at. Real life solutions, real people, personalised support, and no egos. Let's start a conversation about what's actually possible for you. Head to freedompod.focusedpt.co.uk and let us know what's holding you back. We're here to guide you to the solution and a sense of freedom through your own fitness.
It has some nice purposes. I from what I do for a living, I speak to a lot of people on it. I'm dealing with it very much on a daily basis.
And this is working in a pharmacy.
Yeah, working in a pharmacy. So I deal with it on and I see the results and I comment on the results saying how amazing people look. Because I can see it, because I see it, people changing. Clothing as well was a big thing because I went from 5XL all the way down to medium and never being able to a medium, and for that to become quite intoxicating. And my desire to then I could shop for the first time in shops where I couldn't, so Hollister and places like that where I would dare set foot in a Hollister. Like I'm not worthy of Hollister, because that's how they also the brands.
Yeah.
Some of those brands like Abercrombie and Fitch, like that was one which would not make you feel worthy to go in there. Some Levi's jeans. I mean, Levi's jeans go up to different sizes now, certainly, and I'm still a husky size. I'm a big size. I've got not just because of muscle, but also I'm still big. I've got also the loose skin hangs on my body in a certain way where I need bigger clothing. So it's not either being pinched or it's not. It's a little bit more flattering.
Yeah.
So I still try to find my style, which was very hard when you've had no style. Like my style in the gym has evolved as well from being incredibly layered to very unlayered, to the point where I'm confident enough to go in events and short. Yeah, pretty much in my pants. And just like, it's your problem. Stevie do Converse, it's your problem. Your style or your self-worth evolves, or mine certainly did, just through moving more and education has honestly been the biggest factor. The more I dwell on it, the more I think about it, what has got me here, what is more than anything. Fear is one. Fear is a big driver for me. It's sad, and it may sound sad, it may sound positive, it may make sense to someone, but fear is a good motivator. You can bottle that and use it in the right, if you use it in the right way, instead of shying away from fear, embrace fear.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I embrace it. I embrace the fear. And sometimes it is hard because I now enjoy the gym to the point where I used it as a point of punishment and self-flagellation. Like I'd use it as, that was my cat and nine tails.
Yeah.
It was the way I would, not in a kinky sense, very much in a punishment sense, but very much in that sense of like, I am going here to punish myself.
Yes.
This is it. I am not going, so I wasn't going there to learn about movement. I was going there to just make my body suffer.
Yeah.
And it was that kind of, and I would have that really like, you work harder, fat boy, work harder. And that would literally plague me. Like I would literally go in with that mindset, and it took a long time for that to. I still say fat boy brand, but that's mostly because of the film. And it's all like it's one of those things which I do use that to push me now. It's a different type of motivation. I just like keep moving, because it's hard when you're doing long distance running, endurance running. You need anything to keep you moving.
It becomes more of a mental game.
It's a mental game. But it's no longer a physical game, because anyone can run a marathon. I'd say that anyone can do it. It might take you 50, it might take you 50 hours, right? But you can do it.
Yeah.
And it's very much mind and it's mental. And actually, I think a lot of the long term for me getting to 30 plus stone to where I am now has been the evolution of this, the evolution of my mind. And that is where my strength and my ability to maintain it comes from this education, my mind.
But that's, I mean, really and truly, that's the big message that I want to be able to reach out with this podcast and with the work that we do. But this podcast, podcasts are free. Everyone can listen. You don't have to leave your home, which a lot of people are, they might not feel ready to do it yet. But what I really want to get across, and the reason we call it Freedom Through Fitness, is that fitness, I want it to be about what fitness enables you to do and the life it enables you to live, rather than punishing yourself. This is a question that I ask everyone, and it's kind of how we wrap up our conversation. So with that huge journey that you've had, the mental evolution that you've had, how you felt physically and mentally then, and how you feel physically and mentally now. What does the phrase freedom through fitness mean to you?
It's your choice. It's your free. So your choice to do what you want to do. Wow, there's multiple ways I could take that. So freedom through it's made me free. I was shackled to my room because I didn't have fitness, and it freed me. Actually, becoming fit freed me. I was a recluse that had no life to someone that now has a life because I found fitness. So it freed me. The loneliness is the biggest killer of for me. It was like it wasn't being big or being people would avoid me on the street or wouldn't want to sit near me on a bus, or I couldn't fit on a plane. It was loneliness. That loneliness that came from it. That was the real big killer for me. And it is, I think, for a lot of people. As being alone sucks. And I crave being alone still because I'm so used to it. Like I feel like a rescue dog in that sense. I do. But it was traumatic being alone for so long, and it freed me from that. It freed me from loneliness. Even though I still embrace and crave being on my own, I can be incredibly social to a point where it really has helped. My job has really freed me to be social, and hopefully it will help me along the lines of this. I do end up becoming a personal trainer and helping people to lose weight. I'm very, very, very lucky. But don't begrudge. That's my luck. That's my luck that I got it. But you still wouldn't want my life. I would give that to anyone. They might want it now, and they might think, "Oh, great, you can make your pecs dance." But you still wouldn't want my life. You wouldn't want that loneliness that I had. It was absolutely killer. It was so sad, and it is a big driver for me. Yeah. That keeps me going. So again, it freed me from that. Freed me from that loneliness and being alone. It really sucked. It really, really sucked. And I'm blessed to not be alone anymore. You're free to do whatever you want. Like you're free to sit there and stay there if you really choose to. But I found happiness in movement. And it wasn't lifting weights. It just so happens I enjoy lifting weights. It doesn't have to be lifting weights. It could be anything. So it's your freedom of choice to do what you like, whether it's Zumba, whether it's swimming, whether it's horse riding, whether it's walking or it's hiking. There, you have the freedom of choice of fitness. So, and I feel blessed to have multiple things that I like to enjoy to do. I have indulged in yoga. I have indulged, which I really highly recommend as well to people to do. And I don't do it enough, and I'd love to go back to it, but time's precious. And actually, that's one of the things I found from finding fitness. Is actually how precious time is, and what do I value more is my health. So it's trying to find that happy work-life balance, which I do have blessed to have, and not everyone has.
Thank you so much for your time, George. Yeah. And I know that story will be really inspirational to people. Hopefully give people the bravery to take that first step, or just to let it go when a comment comes their way that might make them trip, but they just take the next step and let it go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed listening to this episode as much as I did recording it. If something here has made you think differently, encouraged you to take action, or reminded you of what you're capable of, I would love to know. Tell us what your golden nugget was and what it inspired you to try over at freedompod.focusedpt.co.uk. And if you're new to the podcast, be sure to scroll back through season 1. You will find powerful conversations with everyday people making extraordinary change, like CrossFit legend Kelly Friel on mastering mindset, Ellie Steele on balancing international record-breaking elite lifting with family life, and Piers Day on rebuilding mental resilience after illness and trauma. You'll be amazed at what's possible when you start prioritizing your health, not just for how you look, but for the freedom it gives you. Until next time, I'm your host, Meg Batchelor, and this is Freedom Through Fitness.